This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes, for your half-assed entertainment news with no bullshit, with our hosts, Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda, only on Talk 4 Media.
G'day guys, welcome to Behind the Scenes. I'm your host, Summer Helene. I am splotchy, burnt, and we are going to talk about that. We are on with my co-host, the baddest bear in the cage. What's his face?
You know what next time we should do? We're going to start...
Actually intro you.
Bear Fiorda, hi guys. We're going to start with you here, right? This is my idea in my head. We're going to start with you right here. And then when you introduce me, I'm going to like jump from the ceiling into my seat or pop up. Like I'll be hiding down here. I'll just pop up into place, you know, because it's like they were focused on you for a minute.
This
and sometimes
is a really stupid idea. He is going to knock over all the lights. This is a disaster. There's no part of this that's going to work. Hold the green sheet in front of you, then drop it. Like that's your best bet. So I got to tell you guys,
I can do that.
Once I got on my Meghan Markle rant and started talking about, you know what, I'm a baroness, and this is from one woman in the aristocracy to another. Yeah. You're an ass. Bear's manager was like, we need to change your name on the show. We're putting this everywhere. So so that's apparently going to be public knowledge now. They're selling it. I was like, you cannot sell titles. And Yana's like, you sold yourself in your underwear. Shut up.
I thought the king is offering people titles for like for some other program. No. It's just I'm trying to encourage people personally.
Oh, okay. If you have family titles, go back and get them, because I think that helps the Commonwealth.
Makes sense.
So yeah, I'm going to tell you guys, we will be talking about Skank Bunny McGee. Okay. We will be talking about what's in fashion, what's not, the oversaturation of the Cartier love bracelet.
That's what's trending in Hollywood right now?
A little bit, yeah.
Wow.
So we're going to talk about fashion. We're going to be talking about that. You are going to be walking at Fashion Week. You're going to be at LA Closet.
LA Closet. So LA Closet's putting on the event, but it is Fashion Week Los Angeles.
Yeah. So you're going to be at Fashion Week. You're going to be at LA Closet. You're going to be walking for Art Huts. You're going to be walking for Bureau. You're going to be walking for Jacob. I'm trying not to vomit. Gotta love Manjaro for 4 days. Bear is going to be walking.
Manjaro.
Yeah,
I don't want to gloss over that.
I'm on the weight loss shot.
No, it's nothing wrong with it.
I just try and be honest about it.
Yeah.
So for 4 days, Bear is going to be walking at LA Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Now, a couple of things. I do want to give a shout out. I'm going to pull it up on screen. You'll see my face. I have like a bulbous nose. It's all red and gross right now. My skin is better than it was. We'll pull it up. Can we pull up the video from when this first started, please?
Yes.
Last week, y'all saw my skin get burned. And so we're going to watch that, and we're going to watch the transition. We'll be chatting through it, so you guys will see this on screen. Is there any way we can pull up the video? Yep, perfect. So you can see I looked like a burn victim. I'm much better now than I was. I looked puffy. I had a pancake waffle pattern on my face. I looked like I was burned up. So this is 1 week later. You can see the improvements. It's getting better. It's getting much, much better. But it hurt. I'm not going to say it didn't. I'm getting glossier. I'm getting brighter. We're having good days, bad days. Mm-hmm. I'm really itchy. That's the biggest thing. I'm really, really itchy. So I have no makeup on, as you guys can see. I have grease in my hair. This is from Not Paid For Aquaphor. That's what I have to put on my face every like 20 minutes or so.
I got to say, before you continue, when you were going those intro stages, you look like you had been... Usually you say like an eye punch in the eye to get a little puffy shape here, a little bit of black eye. It looks like someone took a big fist and just punched you in the face collectively.
I do want to give a shout out to Renaissance MD. Make sure you guys are following Dr. Shazia Haidar. She's the one that did this to me. I mean, for me. No, I'm kidding.
Did it to me? No,
she did it to me. She did it for me.
It was it's
incredible. Yeah. So I'll let you guys know as it goes on. I actually have to be in Los Angeles tomorrow because Bear's filming. Yep. So I'm going to try makeup over this. I'll let you guys know how that goes. Really, I have a couple of bumps left. I don't love the puffiness under my eyes. I'm really hoping that's going to go away.
Of course it will.
And then I have a scab right here.
Wait, is that scab by nature of the treatment? It's going to happen, or that's something?
I think I rubbed it. I think I rubbed it in the middle of the night.
Okay, so usually you don't end up with scabs like that in that case.
You might if you scratch. Like if you look at my chest, I've still got kind of the
blotchy
red
indentations.
The blotchy red indentations. I think I scratched my nose.
You know,
I do not.
What are you doing?
I'm putting some Aquaphor on.
What is the Aquaphor for?
It's to keep it moist. It's to keep it moist.
Okay.
So it's essentially a laser treatment, and I'll tell you guys, thus far, it's been itchy. That's been the biggest problem. It's been so bloody itchy.
But one of our commenters say you should apply a cold spoon to your face there.
Unless they're commenting on here, we can't answer them.
Oh, okay.
So, guys, if you want to comment, go on over to the YouTube. Essentially, yeah, you can't compete with yourself, dear. We've had this conversation about media before. You can keep your TikTok. What?
It's like you got a little. Maybe a brown cut on your face. Are you okay?
Where? Oh, no. That's one of my eyelashes. Would you get it off?
Oh. Actually, I think it's maybe a piece of plastic.
No, that's a piece of skin.
A piece of skin?
Yeah, my skin's peeling off.
But that's part of the treatment. That's going to happen.
That's supposed to happen. That's
okay,
supposed to.
That's normal. We're fine.
Off.
Got it.
It's coming off in that grid pattern. So I got to tell you guys.
I wasn't ready to see. By the way, is the grid pattern in your face. It was cool. And
he really enjoys when I'm in pain and gross.
No, but it's not because you're in pain. I have a thing where I like to take care of her. I'm a diligent partner in that regard. So whenever she's down, I enjoy making sure.
If I ever get poisoned, he did it.
I do not have Munchausen by proxy. I promise.
We are talking about what's in style, what's not. And I got to tell y'all, shout out, by the way, Matthew Morris Fine Jewelry for the fabulous sapphire. Yes, it's a yellow sapphire.
I didn't know.
And then they do. And then they didn't make it. It grows in the earth.
Right. So that's what I mean.
So we're going to talk a little bit about the Cartier love bracelet, what's trending, what's not, what's on, what's in, what's out. So a lot of what's going on in fashion right now is it's the same designers going from company to company, and it's all garbage. Well, so shop at independent designers if you guys can. Don't buy knockoffs if you can, because a lot of companies are having trouble with that, specifically the smaller brands. And if you get a chance, we're going to do a giveaway where you can come watch Bear at LA Fashion Week. And what do we got here?
Our comments here on the live stream talking about how you should still apply a cold spoon to your face. They joined us here.
I will apply a cold spoon to my face. I'm going to apply some cold patches today. We actually are going to go out tomorrow for Bear to film. He wants to get some shoes. Well, he actually is trying to make me get some shoes. He's buying me some shoes because I'm always walking around in heels. Where are you going?
I'm going to go down to Sophisticated Sneakers in, I believe it's Studio City, California, because they have really good shoes, and I want to buy her a pair of shoes. She actually can walk in and not hurt herself. That's the whole point.
So he's trying to make me wear sneakers. I need Joel to back me up and tell him I don't need sneakers.
No. And in fact, I'm filming it to teach people that they should be treating their partners like that. Like if your person is constantly in pain because their shoes suck dangles, then, get them better shoes. I don't know. I just don't see the problem in it.
My shoes don't suck. I love Louboutins. You're going to need to jump off there because we are about to use some bad language and we don't want to get your TikTok hit again.
All right. Well, for everyone joining me on TikTok, thank you so much. I will
come on over to YouTube
later.
Behind the scenes.
And you can find it in the Instagram bio. Sorry, doing our send-offs.
So we are going to talk now about the Duchess of Sussex. This stupid woman has taken over my whole bloody industry and I'm sick of it.
How so?
Okay, so
people are against her, right?
No, it's not that. Oh. So, okay, everyone's obviously her and Harry are splitting up. That's what it looks like. The Prince of Wales.
I've heard a little
this has now turned into MMA and royalty. This is ridiculous. So, the Prince of Wales, the Prince. You can leave.
You can make it all about me if you want.
The Prince of Wales, the Prince of Wales and the Princess of Wales are really kind of avoiding this subject, and I'm sorry for them. This is reflected negatively on them. The King of Australia is about to go on a trip to Australia.
You have a King of Australia?
Yes, his name is King Charles.
Oh, I thought it was like, okay, hang on. I thought he was just the king of the Commonwealth, and then they had, what I understood right now is you just said they had a separate king for Australia.
No, he is the king of Australia.
He's just the king. Every time he goes to a part of the Commonwealth, he is the king of that thing.
Not when he goes there. He's always there.
So if he was in Canada, what?
He's always the king of Australia. He doesn't suddenly become when he's visiting.
No, I understand. But when you said the king of Canada, people are going to be like, Canada doesn't have a king.
Fine, they can borrow him.
Okay.
The UK is allowed to have him on loan as well.
On loan.
But he is the king of Australia.
Like monarchist. You're really hardcore. Royalty is the number one thing.
monarchy, a threat to monarchy anywhere is a threat to monarchy everywhere. And without monarchy, we end up with your political system.
Listen, democracy is the best political is the worst political system except for all the other ones.
A democracy. What we don't have are people like Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
Wait, do you see? This is the American people coming in right now. King Charles is the king of England. No,
he is also the king of England.
Yeah,
we allow him to be loaned, I suppose, to England. But he is actually the king of Australia.
Yeah,
he is the king of Australia
because they're all under
unfortunately
the same
that makes Skank Bubble. No, that makes the Duchess of Sussex also Princess Henry. So she is Princess Henry because she's married.
Oh yeah, they take on their names. I forgot about that.
So she is Princess Henry, and so she is an Australian princess, unfortunately. So I do get a right to talk about this, and I am going to say, she showed up at a children's benefit in a reworked Carolina Herrera dress.
What's that?
It was terrible. Carolina Herrera is a designer, a phenomenal designer.
No,
she looked dreadful the first time she wore it. Everyone called it the smashed tomato dress.
Okay.
She reworked it, still looked dreadful, but it was cut down almost to her navel and up to her high thigh. Not appropriate for anyone, let alone a duchess. And this was for a children's benefit. So she's around children, squatted down in a dress, split up all the way to her crotch and down to her belly button. It was absolutely terrible.
I don't understand the slit down, like the square thing.
What I didn't understand was inverted nipples. But the reality Google it. So the reality is she was upset that Harry was getting all this press because Prince Harry is trying to fix his reputation after being a complete ass to the royal family. And so he's gone on this tour and he's realized that he does better with press when he's not with Meghan Markle.
Right.
So here's the catch, though. I don't think he should be forgiven. I certainly don't think he should be allowed back in the royal family. Now, I do not believe in a shrunken royal family. I know they're trying to minimize. I actually think the royal family should expand, keep more members in, and they should expand the peerage system. And people should reclaim old family titles. I think the stronger we make it, the better.
Well, you're a little bit conflicting there because now you're talking about how he should not be welcome back, but we also need a bigger royal family.
He should not be welcome back because of his behavior. And she should certainly not be welcome back. They lied. They called the royal family racist. No, they called the royal family racist. 51%. I was thrilled when he married her. 51% of the Commonwealth is black.
Right.
I actually thought it was fantastic that she married in. And then she said that, people were calling her bad names, the straight out of Compton thing. They weren't being racist. They were being classist. They were saying you weren't good enough because you were trash, not because you were black. Just FYI.
Nate, do you agree that she kind of manipulated him, actually largely manipulated him?
I do.
Do you agree the relationship was abusive?
I think the relationship's abusive.
Okay, so
I think she manipulated him. Do you want to respond to this? She absolutely manipulated him.
So he should have some leeway to come back. That's my thing. If you're a victim, you get to come back.
If his judgment is that poor, he should not ever be put in a position, because it's not just her. He also put out the book Spare, kindly called Wow by South Park. Good job, Trey, Matt, love you guys. Shout out. But I got to tell you, I've dealt with them. I've worked with them. Lovely people. Love the book Wow. So he put out the book Wow when they went on the worldwide privacy tour. Really, South Park hit the nail on the head.
All I'm saying is that if you
no one can do it better.
I'm going to disagree
even
here.
He put out a book. He put out family secrets, and a lot of them weren't true.
Yeah.
When he was called back to the Queen when she was dying.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give a free plug, not that he needs it. So the former Prime Minister, but it starts with a B. It's killing me.
So Meghan Markle's hot though, and I did amazing in Suits, so I forgive Harry. I'm going to disagree with you about the hot man. I don't know how she is an actress, but again, I'm going to say maybe he can come back. He doesn't have to be on the forefront. He doesn't have to be in press.
Absolutely, but he needs to be sent back like Andrew. Boris Johnson put out a book. It's come out. If you guys get a chance, watch it. Hear me. I'm not saying this is as bad as Andrew. I'm not saying this is as bad as Andrew. Okay. I'm simply saying step back. Mind your business. If you're a threat to the monarchy, you shouldn't want to be a threat. Get out of the way. So Boris Johnson put out a book, and what he talked about in the book was the Queen calling him and saying, please talk to Harry before he destroys his life. Then when she was dying, the Queen called him back, also in Boris Johnson's book. And they said, the Queen is dying. Please come see her. And Harry threw a fit that they didn't want Meghan Markle at the Queen's bedside when she was sick and diminished and vulnerable. The Queen didn't want her there.
Right. But you're saying he was upset at that.
He was upset, saying, why can't she come? And then it was because Catherine wasn't going. She was with the children because the Queen they knew would die.
Yeah.
She didn't want the children left alone to hear the news on the news or in school.
Okay. I love that. Boris Johnson's the GOAT.
Yeah.
So
I don't agree with his politics, but he's funny, dude. And
he brought Harry back over. They had the conversation.
And essentially, he's like, well, if Catherine's not going, then it's fine. Meghan's not going. Mm-hmm. But he consistently demanded that Meghan and Catherine be treated the same. And the reality is that's not how peerage works. It's not how monarchy works. William is a future king. Catherine is the future queen. That's it.
But here's the thing. He knows that. And he knows that's the truth. He was raised that way. But when you have your ear all the time telling you how I'm important, validate me, do as I say, your family hurts me, you give in either through then you are too
weak to be a part of the monarchy. Then he is weak. I'm not saying
the family.
I'm not saying no. I didn't say don't make him part of the family. I said do not put him public in the monarchy. There is a difference in those two things. I am 100% a fan of a fan of the monarchy.
Yeah.
I'm 100% a believer in it. I think it strengthens our nation.
Yes.
I think it strengthens the Commonwealth. I think Harry is a threat to the monarchy because he allowed in a danger. I don't care if he did it intentionally or unintentionally.
Yeah.
A threat to monarchy anywhere is a threat to monarchy everywhere.
I'm just grateful that by the time he put out his book, he was already largely discredited anyways. I doubt many people bought it believing everything he said.
No, but it was a bestseller.
Oh yeah,
and
I believe
the reality is okay. So here's the catch with the Duchess of Sussex. I do respect the title, do not respect her as a person.
Right.
She's very heavily into the branded stuff. Like, again, we're going to go back to the Cartier bracelet. She almost single-handedly drove it out of fashion.
Just by existing with it?
No. It got super popular. Everyone started wearing it. Too many knockoffs came out. Now nobody's wearing it. She did the nail one that Cartier has out. She wears that all the time.
Okay.
That same thing. She's so interested in wearing brands that the woman has no self-esteem. She has no sense of self. And I always encourage everyone, look at H.G. Tudor. He talks about her very thoroughly and her brand of narcissism. Now,
so
that being said, I do not think she does. She fills the gap with expensive things. Well, look at our relationship. Every time, I'm mad at you, you buy me a handbag.
That's not filling a gap. That's just poorly fixing a problem.
Well, he did buy me a gorgeous Vivienne Westwood choker, so I'm less mad at him today than I was yesterday.
I like Vivienne Westwood.
Me too.
Will it come in is the question. It's got to come from overseas.
So the big problem.
Okay.
You have, please let us know when JesseOnFire is here because we'd love to bring him on. Because I actually want his take on Meghan Markle because she has so thoroughly taken over the film industry and pushed herself in. And you have Gwyneth Paltrow that doesn't want to be seen with her. You have Reese Witherspoon that doesn't want to be seen with her. Personally, I think she has a savable brand.
Meghan?
But yes.
Yeah, I think they both now. Do. She has to
lean into the villainy.
Yes.
Lean into the villainy. I am not a nice person. I'm nice to the people I love. But my reputation in Hollywood, I've been called a ball buster. I've been called the Wicked Witch of the West Coast. I've been told I'm cold, so cold I could give a man frostbite. This was put out by publications. This was not like friends.
I think you're pretty warm, honestly.
But you're my partner.
Yeah.
You also don't like when I talk to you in work voice.
Well, I'm not your employee for one.
It scares you.
It does scare me. Brings me flashbacks.
You don't like. You are my partner. We have a different interaction.
As we should.
I am warm with you where I'm not with most people. I'm warm with children. Children are the only humans that I like.
Yeah, I got to say, children are sometimes the best and the worst of us.
Oh, my God. They are little monsters. If there is something horrible, they will look up at you and say the most offensive thing. I love them.
That's the
They're
point.
like little brutal monsters.
Honesty is the best policy. And then but then they develop fear of honesty when they become like teenagers.
No, it's before that. They develop fear of honesty because of parental reciprocation and reaction. One of the rules I always had with my children from the moment I adopted them was if you tell me the truth, you will not get in trouble. I don't care what you did. If you killed someone, let me know so I can help you bury the body. But you need to be honest with me. From that moment on, Lex, do you want to check on Jesse? From that moment on, I've got your back. If you're not honest with me, you're dead. And so my daughter, who you all know, you watch her at Free MMA, Kimberly. I've had her since she was 5. She's all of 16 now. Pardon? She seconds that. She would walk in from school at 5 in kindergarten and be like, here's all the things I did wrong today. You'll be getting called from my teachers. Bye. And then run out back. She was smart, man. She knew she wouldn't get in trouble, so she'd give me the list. And then I get a call from the teacher, and I say, yes, I'll speak with her about it. And they said, well, what will the repercussions be? I'm like, she already told me, so there'll be no repercussions, but I'll have a conversation.
Well, that's good. You have honesty in your family. That's the important part.
I want to know that if she's ever in trouble, she'll come to me and know that I won't judge her.
Do you think Megan as a parent is going to react to the action or to a deception?
I think Megan is worried about public perception more than herself.
Okay.
Kimberly went into school.
Yes.
And they were talking about the difference between boys and girls. And she offered to bring in her Aunt Kitty's vagina for show and tell. And she said, but it's big and it's hairy. Aunt Kitty refused to pick her up from school anymore.
You're a good mom, according to the chat. Brilliant.
Kimberly, Aunt Kitty didn't want to pick her up after that.
Yeah, it's not like.
So.
Don't know if that's a flex, exactly.
No, but when you look at children, they're going to be honest. Mm-hmm. And if you are consistently worried about public perception, she went into school and said, I make people cry at work, which is true, but she didn't need to say it. But she didn't get in trouble for it. It's the truth. The reality is, if you cannot handle public perception, Megan's putting out stories that are constantly trying to make her look good. Yeah. Harry is trying to look good by throwing his wife under the bus. Real, wonderful human being. Total
Wait,
match.
how's he doing that? I thought they were just not with each other.
That's the point.
That's how it's going.
He's kind of tossed her to the wolves because her looking bad makes him look good.
Aunt. No, Kitty's fine. No, here's the thing. If you're distancing yourself from that woman and you're not saying anything bad about her, you can just pass it off as I'm going to these events because they're about my particular
trying
self.
To pick himself up off the floor and not acknowledging that he is the one that put himself on the floor with this behavior.
Well, when you've been with an abusive monster, sure, you do that.
Okay. We're going to fight about this. We'll get back to you guys. When you look at, press. I'm just looking at this from a press perspective.
All right.
If Harry doesn't own his mistakes, he's publicly going to be despised. Forever.
But you're talking about owning your mistakes. If he comes out and say, hey, I said and did these awful things while I was in this position with this woman, because to be honest, he has to say the truth. I was influenced by her. She was talking into my ear and I had insecurities. So I did write these things from the heart, but I would never have said these things publicly if it wasn't for her. That's the truth.
But it's also blaming her and not taking responsibility.
But that is the truth. It's not throwing her under the bus, but it's the truth.
It may be the truth, but it's not taking responsibility. He's still a grown-ass man.
Yes.
You and I, the biggest fights you and I ever have are when I see you as weak.
Yes.
I'm sorry to say that, guys, but he is very, very rarely weak. I think maybe 5 times in a whole relationship. And I'm not talking about injured or sick. That's not weak. That's just
like when I'm either indecisive or insecure about something. I get that.
And I'm horrible about it. It does not make me a good partner, by the way. I am terrible because I cannot stand that. Because it's not necessarily a trait that I personally have.
Right.
So when I see, I've got plenty of terrible traits, but when I see this in him, I loathe him and I see him as weak.
So here's the thing though. What I'm saying is that for him to be honest, he's got to
maybe text.
Oh, we haven't.
Yeah, we seem to be having some trouble with Jesse
here, but we'll sort it out. Not the point. Right now we're discussing this.
He's in the middle of a storm.
Yeah, so God only knows what's going on there.
I hope he's okay.
What I'm trying to say is that he's not throwing her under the bus.
Make sure Jesse's okay. That's the biggest thing.
By not involving her in his things. If he was to come out and say what is going on, he would have to throw her under the bus to tell the truth. So I guess we're kind of caught here. It's either you're going to lie by hiding some aspects, or you can be like omission, not say anything, go about your own way. And I don't know what's better for him. I just think that if he's getting away from her, it's positive in general.
I hear what you're saying, but he is just as toxic as she is. And he was very sheltered. He's very sheltered. He's got a bad temper.
Yeah.
He's very childish.
What about before he got with her? How was that in there? Because they seem to be cool, honestly.
No. He had a bad temper. But what he had the palace constantly doing his press.
Okay.
Remember, this is a man that got busted partying in Vegas, got busted wearing a Nazi uniform to a Halloween party. He's dumb. The biggest thing everyone says about him is he's dumb.
But you know, he also served his country diligently. He had to be pulled out of combat situations because he wasn't supposed to be there. And when an emergency hit live on an interview, he didn't say goodbye. He just left.
I'm not saying he wasn't a good soldier. I'm saying he became a very poor soldier when he put it in his book, Wham, and talked about how many people he shot.
I'm sorry, that was pretty bad. You should never talk about that kind of stuff. Thank you to Taz. I'll let Jesse know you think he's hella cute. Absolutely, when we get him on the show.
So I think if it's okay, we're something I'm going to say. You guys know we've had Jesse on multiple times. He's a friend of the show.
Yes.
He's also in the South right now. He's in Texas, I believe, and we've got tornadoes there. We've got hurricanes. I don't know if he's in Texas or Florida right now.
I know they calmed down a little bit, but
but it's taken. Yeah, it's taken.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what our sound engineer was telling us beforehand. There were tornadoes.
Oh, shit. There. Okay.
There are tornadoes. There are hurricanes. There are, like, you name it, everything's getting ripped down.
Got it.
So if Jesse's not on, I'd like everyone to reach out and make sure he's okay.
Yes, please comment on his stuff. Go send him messages. Check on him because we're.
And if you have friends and family in the South, in Florida, anywhere there, please check on them. And remember, you can make donations to the Red Cross and Hurricane Relief. That is incredibly important.
Does FEMA do that, or is FEMA only government only? Yeah, okay. So they can't do that.
Tell me you've lived a privileged life without ever having to accept anything from the government without telling me.
Did you have to go through a hurricane and get help from FEMA?
Not from FEMA, but from Australia's version. I grew up in Australia. Everything's poisonous, blows up, blows over, or
I saw where you grow up, and when you're not in the big city, it's just beautiful. Nothing bad can ever happen in Tasmania.
I took him to the bush.
I'm taking your grandma's stance on this. Tasmania is perfect. No problems at all.
I'm not going to argue with my grandmother. She doesn't say that. But I will say this.
You can argue with me, though. It's okay.
Yeah. I will say this. If you've never been up in Nowra and been hit by a storm, if you've never been up in Queensland during a hurricane, it can be a lot.
Yeah, it can be a lot. I learned recently your country only has 25 million people living in it.
Yes.
California's got 36 million people living in it.
Yes. Now, here's a different one, though. California is also considered one of the most beautiful places of people in the world. It's got the most attractive people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I met some people at the at my gym who came from England. They were cross-training. They're like, I have never been to such a beautiful place with beautiful people. And they're like, have you ever been to England? And I said, no. And he said, don't bother. Everything's great.
I like England.
See, I want to go just because I've never been there before.
We'll go to England. So what we have coming up, I do have to say, I'm actually going to be coming up out of the country, and then I'm going to be in New York in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Or 3 weeks. And then we have Fashion Week in a week. And then you and I have to go down to San Francisco.
There's some very busy bees coming up.
Unfortunately,
no fights. Like, that's the one aspect.
You have your fight with Sensei Seth
in next.
Yeah. Does anyone know how to get him to gain weight? He needs to put on like 50 pounds, but it has to be muscle. And right now it's Pudge.
We have Ike. We have Ike. We have like a bodybuilder / fighter. California has 39 million people. Thank you, Yana. We appreciate that correction. So not 36, 39 million.
Shout out to Bear's manager, Yana. She's the one that set up Fashion Week.
Yes, appreciate it very much.
I am so red. So essentially,
hold on, you got my hair sitting on you. I don't want it to grow into your skin. You know, hey, and one more question about this stuff. It looks like you have these little black kind of very like microscopic dots growing on there. Well, what would these be right here on the side of your face?
The bumps?
Yeah.
What these are is little fuzzies that where my hair's been burnt off. Feel.
Really?
Remember, I'm European. I'm covered in a fine fuzz.
You're covered in a fine fuzz.
I also got a little bit right up here where my hair got burnt off.
You used to have
I have a widow's peak. I usually have a widow's peak. Right now, my hairline is perfect.
You gotta taper
my widow's peak.
You got tapered in, and
all of that said, if you guys need anything done, I do say go on out to Renaissance MD. That place, aside from the puffiness, everything she's ever done on me, fantastic.
Yeah, just
I don't feel fabulous. I don't feel fabulous right now, but I'm looking forward to seeing the results. Now, tomorrow we are going to be out at.
We're going to be in Los Angeles at Sophisticated Sneakers because you need shoes.
Okay, I need heels.
No, yes. I don't care what you say right now. When you start talking about there's the
Coach store. I need to go to Coach.
Why?
because I want to get back.
So we've been buying her a lot of different bags from Coach particularly, but she's got it in her head that the bags are fake. I bought
one off eBay. They have an authentication program. I don't trust them.
You don't trust them?
I don't trust them. I have now. All of this being said, I have Dior bags. I have Coach bags. And I know everyone says Coach is like that mid-range, like Gucci. It's that middle range luxury. Right. It's not luxury. I actually like the way Coach is made better than my Chanel. Don't judge me, but the cross flaps are uneven. Chanel sells on the name, not the quality anymore.
So, it's funny.
Hermes doesn't. Hermes is still quality.
So
I'm not paying $60,000 for a bag. He is going to buy me one though for 16.
Fuck no. 16 grand. Oh my God.
I love you. That'll just be your purse.
Your quality of bags kind of remind me of the quality of like boxing gloves and equipment. I know that when I spend 100, 150 bucks on a pair of gloves, they're going to last me forever. But I don't necessarily believe that you spending 16 grand on a bag is any different than you spending 600 on a bag. At some point, you can't get better quality. You can just get higher price points because of the company.
Okay. My Dior bag's like $3,000.
That to me is even like, there's no way.
Not worth $3,000.
No, I watched it.
Now, my Coach.
Okay, go ahead.
My Coach bags, I have run over those.
Yeah.
They are better. He bought me this gorgeous little white Coach bag. I still have from 10 years ago. Not for 10 years. It's almost like 10 years. About
comment section 16,000 with the death face. Yeah. Hermes is like 10 grand kind of starting point, dude.
Yeah.
You could buy the actual UFC title belt for that much, probably less. I'm not going to spend 16 grand on a UFC title belt either. I'll just earn that one instead. It's not the point. But I can't see it. I'm thinking to myself right now that sure, Coach can cost upwards of like $500 and $600, but I know that they made that bag for like $100. I saw a video of Coach, Chanel.
Coach made it. It was like $200.
That's even better.
And it was that guy. There's this great guy online. I'm forgetting his name. If y'all know who he is, let me know. Yeah. He actually cuts apart bags. And one of the things we're looking at, shout out to Cassie Thorpe. I actually follow her. She does all the luxury stuff. I'm going to do a new Fashion Police show, and I want her to star in it with
Fashion Police.
Yep, with Brittany Schmidt, who I'm doing a couple of TV shows with. Shout out to Brittany Schmidt.
Why don't you try to take over the show they have already?
No, because what's her name? I just drew a blank. Joan Rivers is
Joan Rivers. Oh, okay.
And because the chick was racist on it, so we don't do that anymore. Yeah, but essentially, you have things like, again, the Cartier Love bracelet. It's played out to hell. You have things like the Hermes bracelet played out to hell. The problem is, like, I have Chanel jewelry and I have Vivienne Westwood jewelry. It's costume, meaning it's not real pearls, so it's not high-end jewelry. You're buying it for the branding. I have tons of pearls that are far more valuable than Vivienne Westwood's because it's not real diamonds.
I thought not Vivienne Westwood was real
It's
stuff.
Real silver.
No, like real pearl.
Do you really want to know how much you just spent on fake pearls?
No, I'm just saying, like, why would they? What I'm just saying is, why would they advertise? That's false advertising, right? They can't actually say that.
It's called a Vivienne Westwood choker necklace. It's not called real pearls.
All right, it's not a description per se. I'm just saying.
It's like, think of it like lab grown or dipped.
I'm just gonna say.
Look, you bought it for me for the brand. That's why I wanted it.
I'm just gonna say that a Christian Dior shirt runs at $40 to make it. I saw the video of the company that makes shirts for them. They sell it for $600. That shirt and quality.
You just bought me a $650 necklace that's worth $4 in.
I'm just saying that quality is not going to get any better. That's probably a great quality shirt. $40 is a great quality shirt, but these companies spend pennies.
You just bought $650.
They spend pennies on the dollar to make your product, and they sell it to you at grossly inflated rates.
Okay, but then you go on the opposite end of the spectrum to Shein. Now, I know you're looking at being a Shein partner. So, by the way, Bear takes on these partnerships, and what he does with these partnerships is he gifts them. We have an upcoming partnership that he has with Airsoft. He's actually taking the gun in the partnership and giving it to you guys.
With this particular company that makes Airsoft.
Yeah.
Bullfrog is the company.
What he's doing is he's taking on these partnerships, and rather than doing what a lot of influencers do and keeping the product, he's giving it to you guys.
Yeah.
And so that's his new deal. He actually got me a ponytail, clip-in ponytail that I love. from one of the companies. So I will say I don't mind him taking those partnerships. So I want to be careful slamming on Shein because I know he's going to do a partnership with them and you guys are going to get the product. So let's choose Temu. So
let's choose Temu because you can shit on them.
Let's choose Temu because you don't have a partnership.
Yeah. He's in a hurricane. Let him be. Thank you. We appreciate that.
So essentially, with Temu, you spend
$50. You get a lot of things. They all break in the first week because they're garbage.
But they're also they use slave labor. When you use a lot of these things, somebody is paying for it. When you get dirt cheap products, somebody is paying, either you or the child making it. And let me tell you, I have seen some of the stitching on that clothing. Children do not make good seamstresses.
That should be the smallest concern of everything you just said. If I find out children were forced to make my clothing, I'm not going to inspect it like, man, they may have been forced to, they do a shitty job.
They really do. The stitching's uneven.
And I think their little so low.
But that's it. But their little hands have difficulty, especially with leather. So you end up with an inferior quality product.
All I'm hearing for right now is they should be enslaving adults, not kids. And fair enough. I guess I'd rather have adults enslaved.
America does it. Look at your prison system.
They're paid.
No, they're not.
Paid.
Yeah, they were making Victoria's Secret under. I can't shit on Victoria's
They're paid
Secret.
50 cents.
I love you,
a
Victoria's
week.
Secret. You built my career.
They're paid 50 cents a week. That was enough for a small Victorian boy in the 1800s. Our country's so fucked up.
All I'm saying is when you use slave labor, be it prison labor or children, with children you get an inferior product, and with adults you shouldn't be doing it. It's not right.
So I like the idea of a company that has genuine, like, good people. They're paid right. They're making products that matter and will last. I don't mind spending, like, this t-shirt I bought because it was thick and it was also like on sale for $9. But I think the actual cost of it from the company, I don't remember which one it was, is like $24. And I don't mind spending that on a t-shirt because I know it'll last a little bit longer than the other ones.
I'm just saying, when you go to companies,
is that your way to shut me up?
Yes,
is that like you're talking too much, you're rambling? You're yapping.
So you're yapping.
Boomer.
So essentially, when you look at companies like Balenciaga,
my feet are wet, Summer.
You are so gay and not in the cool way.
You can't use that.
Yes, I can.
Oh, we're not on TikTok Live, I guess.
I can say whatever I want. I'm Australian.
That's not a clearance. You can't be foreigning your way of saying what you want.
Of course you can. Have you never met an Australian?
Mm.
You were in Australia.
Yep, stop her.
Essentially, what we're looking at is, I'm glad you're willing to pay a bit more for it. I'm not opposed. I look at thrift shops. If you can afford Temu, you can go to thrift shops. I love thrift shops. I love thrift shopping. I love vintage shopping. Bear and I actually go do that all the time. I have to go to the bank after this show. We're going to stop at the thrift shop and he's going to buy me something. He doesn't know that yet. But essentially, we all have the desire to get things for less. But when you get dupes, when you get child labor products, when you get...
Just like Meghan Markle's, like, what's that product she's been putting out recently? She has a company for it now.
Which one? Oh, the handbags.
My
God.
Yeah.
She puts out handbags that she pays like $2 for. She's charging $800 for. She's taking credit for the product. This company's existed forever. Women in Africa are making these bags. She's charging a fortune for them. They get nothing. It's brilliant. That's
really popular, though, because if you look at people like Ryan Reynolds and The Rock. Ryan Reynolds and The Rock know dick about making alcohol, but they come in as product partners. They take over the company by buying it, and now they're the face of it.
Marketing.
They know about money and marketing.
I look like a jowls because I have a giant pimple here. Look at that.
You do not have jowls.
I do. Look how swollen I am.
You didn't before this, and this only took them further away.
I didn't have them, but this made them less.
Yeah, you did preventative measures now.
By
the way, preventative measures way better for
cosmetic surgery.
No, it's better in general for like your health. Don't do things after the fact. Prevent things from happening. Like getting O2 laser on the face.
CO2.
There's some carbon in there.
I love you so much.
That's good. You should.
He gets punched for money. The point is, when you look at shows that employ people, independent film, let's say, what kind of product do you come up with? Well, it depends on how involved people are. When
boxing gloves.
Do you want me to spit water on you again?
Please don't.
When you look at products, especially in the fashion industry, that are made poorly, there was a great show where they walked out representing fast fashion and just fell apart all over the runway. Loved it. That was one of my favorites.
There was one.
I think people don't recognize the importance of fashion. If you all have seen The Devil Wears Prada, do you remember that bit which is talking about cerulean blue, where it goes from the runways and the fashion houses to the bargain basements to every shop? You should care because it affects your fashion. It doesn't matter whether you're buying it from, you know, Korea at the highest boutique or you're buying it at Kmart. It affects you. And these shitty clothes that you see from Shein that are now landing in thrift stores because people are doing hauls and then dumping everything.
Yeah.
These are not products that last. So you should not even be buying them from thrift stores because they are not going to last you.
I want to keep on that note. Number one, they love your one-liners. Number two, doubling back to the fashion stuff. There's we went to a fashion show recently at the red carpet, one of the red carpets, and I don't know how long they spend making their immediate designs for them to walk. I think it has to be quick.
Yeah.
But this particular company made it like leather dresses or some kind of plastic dresses. And these people, guys, girls included, they couldn't take 2 steps out looking like cardboard cut out of a human. And they would just ride up immediately. If you wore a dress, we saw everything. If you were wearing shorts, there was nothing to hide because they would just cinch up into their bodies.
There are some that are done poorly.
I think so.
Then you have some that are done great. You worked with a company, you worked for them. They actually gave you the tuxedo.
I'm grateful that
the tuxedo. What was the name of that company?
Giovanni Testi. I remembered it. But the point is,
he loves it's his favorite coat. It is literally
this
black. He wears the pants all the time. It's this black coat with silver threading through it. It was gorgeous.
It's the best one I have, by hands down. And that one's well made. But what I'm talking about is these designers, as well as moving into like the whole fast fashion thing you're talking about. Sometimes the product, when you push it out there, I swear to God, is really terribly made. You already swallowed it. I know you did.
How do you know?
Because I saw your throat move.
Okay, you want to go?
No, I'm not gonna go.
I agree. It is badly made. I think the problem.
Did you swallow it? Open your mouth.
I tried. It didn't work. I tried.
That was the test.
Didn't work.
I'm proud of you. You gave A.
I gave it A for effort.
A for effort.
So when you look at these companies,
yes,
you are looking at companies like, let's look at oh God, there are so many. Let's just look at simple fast fashion. Okay. You have companies where people are being enslaved, people are being abused. The company takes all of the profit. The customer's getting screwed, the planet's getting screwed, and the workers getting screwed. You know who?
This is a terrible segue for this, but I do want to talk about this because some big stuff's happening with the whole Diddy incident.
Speaking of getting
screwed.
Before we get to that, shout out to KM Extends, Bellamy Extensions. Thank you for my extensions, Bellamy. Shout out to Tiny Bubbles Hair Salon. Thank you for fixing my weaves because I screwed them up. I'd like to give a shout out to LA Fashion Closet, where you are going to be walking.
Yes, as well as Off-Road Rentals in Palm Springs, California.
That's our giveaway for today. If you want to write in, show us you are following this show, following the TuneIn BTS pages, go to his, let's go to your Insta. Okay. Go to his Insta and tell us if you'd like to see him at LA Fashion Week. You have to be in LA. We're not like flying you in. If you'd like a ticket, we can maybe set that up, or ride at Off-Road Rentals in Palm Springs, California.
As well as thank you to the Embassy Suites in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, for having us there during the Phoenix Fan Fusion, formerly known as Phoenix Comic-Con.
I like that. Now, for me, I think when we look at the Diddy situation,
what did you see?
Ashton Kutcher's fucked. So he's been tied to Danny Masterson. He's been tied now to
specific. We're talking about him, Ashton Kutcher, specifically right now. Yeah, okay.
He's now being tied to multiple rapists.
Yeah.
There has got to be a point where, would you be comfortable being around men like that?
No. I wouldn't be comfortable around Diddy for 2 reasons. Number one,
you couldn't get an egg up your butt.
Well, more like he would try and drug me in the process. Number two, why would you want to hang around people who are that terrible? And so many people knew about it is the whole thing. They were well aware of the situation. There are people still defending him now, even though he's very clearly guilty of countless things.
That means if they're defending him, it means they have something against
Diddy sold out all the baby oil in my area. Thank you, Thoheed, for explaining the baby oil thing.
So essentially, if people are defending him, he probably has tapes of them. He got tapes of people doing terrible things, and he used it for blackmail.
I don't know if it's true.
Genius.
I don't know if it's true, but there was a photo circulating that LeBron James basically said, "I'm not going to stand with him. I'm against this guy." And Diddy posted a photo of him standing in the mirror in like a skimpy maid's outfit.
Yep.
And so I don't know how many people Diddy's got under his belt. I don't know if that photo is 100% or maybe it's a little bit. No,
it's
AI.
probably legit. But the reality is LeBron, he obviously didn't have anything bad enough from LeBron. It's just LeBron in a maid's outfit.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at Oscar De La Hoya. We've got him in women's tights, and everyone still sells him as Mr. Clean Cut.
And in 2024, I think people look at it and like just move on because it's not that big of a deal.
The issue with Diddy, like I said, I didn't care when it was orgies and everyone in Hollywood. I didn't give a damn.
When they're into it,
it was kids. That was when you say there was trafficking from 9 years old and on.
Yes.
My biggest concern, everyone's lashing out at Justin Bieber. I don't think they should be. If Justin Bieber was involved in this, that means he was likely a victim. He was literally a child at 15.
Yeah.
One of the things they said was Diddy shows up when Justin Bieber was filming and screamed at him like, "Why'd you change your number? Why don't I have your number? What, you too big for me now?" And that was in the record in there. And then
in the deposition. Okay.
And then his Bieber's mom gave him to Diddy for a few days. I do not know what happened to Bieber. I do know
he'll probably talk about it at some point.
I don't know if he will. But the reality is, I really would love to see everyone get off his back. I think when you deal with a child, it's like when people really jumped on Macaulay Culkin over the Michael Jackson thing.
Right.
There's a point where the only thing he could be is a victim. There's no point where he would have been the problem in that situation as a child. So
I think the only thing he could possibly be guilty of is not saying anything, much like many people.
That's not guilty. The reality is it's not guilty. When you're a victim, you have the right to keep your mouth shut. You do.
Oh, really?
Yes, of course you do. You don't have to talk if you don't want.
See, I maybe, and is that a feeling opinion, or is there like a law that states that? Because my opinion is different. I think if you're a victim, you need time, fine, but to never say anything,
it's the law.
You're letting other people come in and get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fifth Amendment. Thank you to our sound engineer. I appreciate that. Is right. Okay, so legally, yes, you don't have to say anything. I'm just saying that I think you have a responsibility to not let it happen to other people. I really do.
You may have a responsibility, but you are not responsible.
No, you're not responsible.
What I'm saying for that is, I in no way find Justin Bieber responsible. If he did something, sure. I think Ashton Kutcher, I'm sure he has now been involved with multiple rapists, and his wife is now divorcing him right after this comes out. Something's happened. And Diddy, he was really into men. They used to say that if you were going to hang out with him, you better be able to fit an egg up your butt. Can you fit an egg up your butt?
What a phrase to tell people.
That's how you know you're ready to hang out with Diddy. Could you fit an egg up your butt?
No, but also, who's going to try an egg? It would pop.
Have you never tried to put an egg up your butt? Diddy?
No. Why would anyone try to put an egg up their butt?
Okay, we will do the experiment later today, and I'll let you guys know how it goes, okay?
I like it better when you're spitting water. I really did. That was so much better.
But basically,
better than a glass bottle. Christ's sake.
But there were bottles. People talked about bottle service. You knew which bottles to drink and bottles not to. Now, I'm going to say I had dealings with Diddy. He was always nice to me. But we were dealing with the people financing things.
Meaning what?
I was dealing with his financiers. I wasn't someone he was going to mess with.
Okay.
Because I had more value bringing him money.
Did you meet him on like an eyeball to eyeball basis?
Yeah.
Okay. I would feel like in his position of power, he could probably get away. I see him very much like I see Weinstein. Like you can get away with it.
My boss was their financier. So you didn't take the risk of ruining your financier. What I missed?
The comment section. If I do the egg thing, apparently you have to buy sneakers, not heels. Or I have to buy you. I have to buy them anyways. What do you mean? No.
Oh, yes.
No.
Yeah, that's a deal. I will wear sneakers.
No, there's not a deal. Absolutely not.
I agree with you.
You don't get a choice there.
You're not the boss of me.
I'm the boss of me.
Yes, but you're not the boss of me.
No egg where they shouldn't go. I am not a hen.
The hen, you wouldn't do that to a hen. That's terrible.
I get less respect than the hen, apparently.
Essentially, when we look at someone like Diddy and what he's done, you're talking about children being trafficked across state lines. You are talking about Usher, underage, put in his care. You are talking about Bieber, underage, put in his care.
He's so old. He probably had most of the music industry at this point under his care.
No, meaning he had guardianship.
Guardianship?
Mm-hmm.
Who would ever trust?
Some mothers are desperate for fame for their children. And that's a problem. So I'm going to say this. If you are desperate for fame, don't live vicariously through your children. Don't.
Seek it out yourself.
There's no reason you can't in today's day and age.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, please send your shout outs to Jesse on Fire. We will let you know next week how he is doing. When we find out, Bear will do a video and let you know.
I'll put it out there. We're very sorry we didn't have another guest to hop on real quick. It was unfortunately last minute.
No idea.
He was set up until the last point. So maybe next time we'll get him on.
We spoke to him this morning and then haven't heard since.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Very, very concerning. So our prayers are out to everyone in the areas with the hurricanes, the tornadoes. Please follow Jesse on Fire. He's one of our favorite people.
Yeah.
And remember, a threat to monarchy anywhere is a threat to monarchy
everywhere. For Christ's sake,
support the monarchy.
Markle. No one cares about her.
I wish they did.
The more we talk about her, the more power she gets. It's like striking down Obi-Wan in episode 4.
I'm going to leave you. Thank you for joining us on Behind the Scenes. We'll see you next week. Good night.
This has been Behind the Scenes with Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda, only on Talk 4 Media.